Good morning, class 3. This is teacher Neelam here, and today is your English lecture. How are you all? Hope you all are fine and doing best at home, enjoying the Ramazan, the last few days of Ramadan. How many of you are keeping the fast? Hmm? And now the weather is also very good. It becomes cold again, and it's very pleasant. So I hope all the best for all of you. How is the Eid preparation? Have you all bought your shoes? The dresses are ready? Okay. So back to the studies also. Today we do the comprehension. So all of you take out your read now, and you know that the last lesson is left. We have read the lesson in class also. Today I will read it again, explain it to you, and then you have to do the comprehension. So take out your read now books, and then take out the grammar copies also, so you can do the work on your grammar copies. Yes, this is lesson number 20 and unseen foe. We have read this in class, and I hope all of you remember the story. Those who were absent on that day, I'm reading again for them, and I'll explain it to them again, and then you can do the comprehension. Now all of you open your books and look at your books. Okay. One day a shepherd who lived in a faraway land went out to gather honey. After he had searched for quite a long time, he spied a big hollow tree trunk. So this is the story about a shepherd who lived in a faraway land, and his work is to gather the honey. So one day he went out to gather the honey. After he had searched for a quite long, he spied a big hollow tree trunk, and he think that may he find the uh, honey over there. So around the top of the tree, he heard the buzz of many bees. In order to protect himself, he pulled a net over his head and neck and put on a pair of gloves. He climbed to the top to look inside. When he peeped down, he saw, to his delight, a large beehive. The bottom part of it had a few unoccupied honeycombs. So, when he reached there, and there he heard the buzz of many bees. So, and you know that the people who want to take the honey, they have to cover themselves. They cover the neck, the head, and almost the whole body. They have a special kind of the suit which you have to wear. So he protect himself. He pulled our net over his head and neck. He covered his head, and he covered his neck also, and he put a pair of glove on his hand also, so that he can easily um, take out the honey from the beehive, and no any bee can sting. So he climbed to the top to look inside. So when he peeped down, he saw it to his delight, and he was very happy because he saw there are large beehive, and the bottom part of the few was unoccupied and honeycomb. So he was very delighted, and he think that now he can easily get the honey. There is a lot of honey in it. But what happened? The shepherd bent over and scooped out some honey into a tin which was tied to his belt. So he had a belt around his waist, and in that he pulled out some of the honey scooped out the honey from the beehive, and he was putting in a tin which is tied with his belt. As he stretched out to get more, he lost his balance and tumbled down into the hollow trunk. So, what happened? He was scooping it out, and at once, what happened? He slipped And when he slipped down from that hollow tree, he went straight down to the bottom of the tree. As you can see in the picture, he's at the bottom of the tree, that hollow tree, because the hollow means the tree was empty from inside. So now, as he fell, he grabbed the honeycomb and pulled a part of it with him, because he was scooping out that honey from it. So he had his hand with the beehive, and as he went down, he grabbed it and he went down with that part of the honey, and that honeycomb also with him. When the shepherd reached the bottom, he was very frightened, but not hurt. So luckily he was not hurt, but he was very frightened because he was not at the bottom of the trunk, and he have this fear that how can he go went up again, and how can he get out of it. So this is really a very bad situation for him. The angry bees attacked him and buzzed loudly to and fro, but they could not harm him. You know that anyone disturb the honeybees or any kind of the animal or insect, in return they also attack on that person. So the honeybees also buzzing around him and was very angry, but luckily they also not attacked him, and he was saved over there. He tried several times to climb up, but but inside of the tree, but he failed each time. He was trying to get up, but he could not, because he failed, because he could not reach up. The tree was very slippery, we can say, and there is no any sort of support, that how can he get up and climb up on that tree again. He was shut inside the tree, and it seemed as if there was no way out. Now he was sitting over there, he was very frightened and hopeless over, because it seemed that now he could not get out of it. 2 whole days went by. So he spent 2 whole days in that tree trunk, and the shepherd was still in his strange prison. This is a very strange prison for him, that nobody even know that where has he gone. Nobody even can imagine that he is in that tree trunk. Whenever he heard a sound, he shouted with all his might, but no one heard him, because no one even expect that a shepherd can be in that tree. Nobody knows about him. He was not hungry, because he had plenty of honey to eat, but he was very very thirsty, because he had that honey to eat, but he was very thirsty, because when you know that when you eat something which is sweet, we all need to get the water. And 2 days he spent without having any water, but so he was very thirsty now. My goodness, he said to himself, it must be a bear. Okay, on the morning of the third day, what happened on the morning of the third day? He heard a loud scratching outside the foot of the tree. So he heard this kind of the sound, that somebody is scratching on the tree. My goodness, he said to himself, it must be a bear on the lookout for honey. What on earth shall I do if he comes in here? Because bears are very fond of honey, and as he heard the sound of scratching, so he had that idea that it must be a bear looking for the honey. And if that bear went come down on the earth, what will I do? So he is again very much frightened. Now let's see what happened. Bears are very fond of honey and are always prowling in search of it. They are not afraid of the bees, because their coat of fur are so thick that they are protected from the stings of the angry insects. So bear was in search of the honey, and he was scratching on the tree. And as it is written over here, they are not afraid of the bees, because their furry skin is too hard that the bees cannot sting and they cannot harm anyone. Now by the sound of the scratching on the bark, he knew that the creature was climbing the tree. The shepherd was thinking. He knows that this is the sound of scratching, and this is a bear who was scratching and coming down for getting the honey. When he looked up, he saw to his horror a huge brown bear. The animal was scrambling over the top and coming down upon him inside the trunk. So the animal, the bear was there, and the bear was scratching, and now the bear was trying to get down because bear found the that honey over here, and he was also, you know, planning to get down. Suddenly, the shepherd felt his courage come back to him. Anything is better than to stay here and starve to death. I will give Mr. Bruin the shock of his life. Now he was sitting, the shepherd, and very scared also. But suddenly the idea came in his mind, and the shepherd can get up with all his courage. And now he think that anything is better. It's better to do something instead of staying over here and starving for the death. It, I must try something. I have to do something. This he say to himself. The bear was coming back down backwards and did not see the shepherd. The bear was coming down backward like this, head up and tail is down. So, and he did not see that there was something inside the, and he wasn't expecting that anyone can be there in the tree trunk. So, as soon as the animal's tail was within his reach, he caught it in his strong hands. Suddenly, he gave it a quick, hard pull, and as soon as the bear get down and the shepherd found that now he can hold his tail, he hold it with his hand. And suddenly, he gave a quick, hard pull. He was pulling down towards himself, and you know that when he was pulling down the tail, definitely the bear also was very much surprised that who is on the hell, this is someone who is pulling me down. And he felt the pain also. So the bear gave a loud howl of pain and surprise. Without turning to see what had hurt him, the frightened creature began to scramble up out of the trunk as quickly as he could, because he was very much surprised that who is there who's pulling my tail like this. Bear himself was very frightened, and in that with that fear, instead of coming down, bear was now wanted to go up again. And at that very clever moment, a clever idea came into the shepherd's mind. As the huge animal clawed his way up the inside of the tree, the man flung his arm around the bear's hind legs. Now the shepherd was very cleverly, the idea came in his mind that instead of holding the tail, he just put his arm around his legs, around the hind legs, back legs. Hind means the back legs. And in this way, he thought that as soon as he went up and he wanted to come out of this tree, I also go with him. This idea was very good, and it worked also. This made the bear more frightened than ever. Now the bear is now more much frightened that but thing is that is now grabbing my hind legs also. The animal struggled desperately to get to the top of the trunk and escape from his attacker. The bold shepherd held on to the animal until at last they reached the open air. Now the bear was very much frightened, and he was struggling desperately to get out of it. So he ran toward the trunk and escaped from his attacker. And this bold shepherd held, and the shepherd very tightly held up with the bear, and he was not at all afraid now, because he knew that now in this way this is the only way he can get out of this. So as soon as he was safe at the top, the shepherd let go his hold on the bear. The bear, now free from his terrible foe, slid quickly down the outside of the trunk and hurried off into the forest. Now, as soon as they reached up on and in the open air, the bear quickly ran from there, even he not look back, and the shepherd also was still in that hollow tree. You can see over here, waiting for the bear to escape from here or ran away from there. And The bear was so much scared that he didn't even look back who was that person or who what thing is there. He ran away from her. So when he could no longer hear the grunts of the frightened animal, the joyful shepherd climbed down the tree and set off for home. And the shepherd was waiting over there to let this bear go away from here, far away from here, then I will come up. So as when he could not longer hear the grunts of the grunts means the howling and that all of the bear, he was there in the tree. He was waiting for that, and as soon as the bear disappeared from there, he came out of that tree trunk, and then he set off for his home. His wife and family were delighted to see him. They thought something dreadful had happened to him because after 3 days he's coming back his home. Family and the wife was very happy, and after he had eaten some food, he told them of his strange adventure. So when they settled down and they had their food, then he told them all that what actually happened with him. They all laughed and joked about the way in which he had escaped, because it is really something which is very unusual that he escaped in this way. So they laughed on it. The biggest laugh of all rang through the little cottage when the youngest of his children said, "Father, the bear must have thought that you were the boogeyman," because he had said bear was. That's why he was very much frightened that you must be a boogeyman. A boogeyman means the person who disguise like this and try to uh, frighten the children. So he thought that this young child was saying to his father, the bear was must also thinking like that you are a boogeyman and you are frightening, someone is frightening me. In this way he's ran away from here, and such a with such a fear that he even not looked back. So this is the whole story. I hope you all understood it and you enjoyed it. All the story is very interesting, and we have read it, and many of you told the story in your own words also. So now it's time to do the comprehension, and the comprehension will be that on page number 110 there are the questions, and you are supposed to do from 1 to 8. Question number 1 is, what was the title of the story? Number 2 is, for what was the shepherd searching? Number 3, what sound came from the top of the hollow trunk? Number 4, how did he protect himself? Did he protect himself mean the shepherd? Number 5, what did the shepherd take from the honeycomb? Number 6, where did he put the honey after he was scooping out from the beehive? Number 7, how did he fall down into the hollow trunk? And number 8 is, why was he afraid? So these are the 8 questions. Do these 8 questions on your grammar copy, and as you all know how to make the page ready, write on the date and day, and write on the topic on top and unseen for, and then write the comprehension, and then start writing your question and answer. And with this you all have to draw the picture of a bear, or you can make any picture which you think is easy for you, like a tree, or maybe this one, or maybe this one. Any picture which you think you can easily draw, or only the bear you can draw, but draw at least one picture with it. Okay, so this is your classwork, and your homework will be this, that you have to do the writing of a paragraph from page 112 of GK, and draw the picture also with it. I'll send the picture in that GK page picture also, and I will tell you which picture you have to draw. And no dictation words, because as we are not doing the dictation on online classes. So this is your today's homework, and do your classwork and then send your classworks on my personal number. It's much better if you send it before 5 o'clock or till 5 o'clock. It must not be too late. Some of the children are sending the classwork at 8 o'clock night, some at 9, so it becomes too late. So try to finish it before 5 and send it on my number. Okay, and then I'll mark your attendance also. Your homework means that you are present in the classroom, and I'll mark your present. So this is all from uh, today from my side. So this, do your classwork, do neat writing, and send. So okay. So till next class. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.